Starbucks was founded by Jerry Baldwin, Seth Siegel, and Gordon Bowker in Seattle in 1971 on March 30th. At first, they only sold beans. After a while, Howard Schultz joined, and the three entrepreneurs later went to visit Milan. Schultz got the idea to sell coffees and espressos. The three founders, however, did not agree. Schultz left them and started a coffee place for himself. After he made some success, he bought Starbucks and changed the name of his own company to Starbucks. The economic situation in Seattle when Starbucks was founded was not ideal. Yes, from World War II until the 1970s, Seattle had an economic boom. And after Boeing successfully introduced the 707 commercial jet airliner in the late 50s, there was another boom. But in the early 70s, the US economy was struggling to pay for both the Great Society social programs and the waging war in Southeast Asia. This led to rising federal expenditure, interest and inflation rates. Economic growth slowed and employment fell. The stagflation led to Richard Nixon's administration cut taxes, raised interest rates, and devalued the dollar quickly after. Boeing was also struggling to pay for itself and had to fire people. This made the economic depression even worse in Seattle. Despite the odds, Starbucks succeeded and expanded to Chicago and Vancouver in 1987. Right now, they have 16,858 stores worldwide. After a brainstorming session, we concluded that it would be a marvelous idea to expand Starbucks to Tilburg Central train station. This is a good idea because there is no Starbucks in the city center or near the city center or the train station. Also, Tilburg has a busy train station. We don't have any numbers on that, but we experienced this ourselves when traveling. The first Starbucks in Tilburg opened a while back at the university. People from all over Tilburg travel to this location for a coffee. However, it is not close to the city center at all. Starbucks will receive a lot more customers if they move to the train station, also because they are closely located to the city center then. Another reason is because the theme park Efteling is close by. This is a popular theme park and people traveling with public transportation usually travel via Tilburg. The GDP has grown with 1.9% to $853.5 billion. The GDP per capita is $50,793. There is an unemployment rate of 6.9%, which means that there are 614,000 people unemployed. The largest employment sector is the service sector. The rise in wages has been 1.5%. Average inflation is 2.4%, which is steady and responsible, because for a stable growth in economics, you should have an inflation between 2 and 3% per year. The government is involved by having taxes. There is the corporate tax. It is a direct tax on the income of a company. In the Netherlands, the tax rate is 20% up to and including 200,000 euros, and above 200,000 euros, the tax rate is 25%. A dividend tax is a direct income tax on dividend income by shareholders. Companies withhold the tax rate of 15% while paying out the dividend and give this 15% to the state. National insurance is a system of contributions paid by employees and employers towards the cost of certain state benefits. For example, AOW, ANW, AWBZ. The payroll tax is a direct tax you pay as an employee over your income. In the Netherlands, this is a proportional tax. This means that the more you earn, the higher your tax rate will be. As you can see in this table, there is a difference between whether you are in the AOW or not. This means everyone who is above 65 has to pay less, as shown in category 1 and 2. Value-added tax is an indirect tax. It is a consumption tax that is included in the price when you buy something. For Starbucks, this will be 6% on their products, as their products are food and non-alcoholic beverages. For their merchandise, it would be 21%. The interest rates for the banks for getting a loan, the average is 1.6% for 1 year, 2% for 10 years, 2.5% for 15 years, and 3.1% for 30 years. Monetary policy. The institution that regulates is the Nederlandse Bank, which is influenced by the European Central Bank. To manage the monetary policy, the European Central Bank, ECB, works with the Euribor rate. It is the rate with which the ECB lends out money to commercial banks. Now it has the lowest rate ever of 0.05%. This will enable small businesses to get a loan at a small interest. If this rate is lowered, it is influenced by performances of the Eurozone and inflation. It would mean that the expenditure per individual may reduce and therefore also the benefits of the small businesses. The fiscal. Netherlands is considered most expensive country to live in regarding taxes. It ranks number 4 most taxed nation worldwide. The proportion of taxes regarding the national GDP is 21.08%. The schools of thought, there is Keynesianism, which is the social differences need to be reduced as much as possible by government intervention. The difference between rich and poor people will level. Supply and demand. There is Brut Creatief Coffee Café. Their strategy is to get customers to get to their cafe by having all kinds of art displays. There was no number to be found on their performance. However, from experience we know that most of the time it's quite busy there. Therefore, they are a competition. However, they aren't located at the station of Tilburg, so we won't have direct competition for the traveling people. The only competition we have is the people who enjoy art. The product is wanted as the Brutvrij Creatief Coffee Café was actually partly funded by crowdfunding, as people thought they needed a coffee bar there. A while ago, StarBucks was opened at Tilburg University, and this one is doing really well for the students there. The only direct competition StarBucks has at Tilburg Central train station is the Albert Heijn to go and the Broodzaak, because they also sell coffee, cappuccino, etc. However, the quality is much lower.
When looking at the employees of StarBucks, you see that there are a lot of different persons. They are not only different from each other in gender and age, but also culture, sexual orientation, disability, religion and life experiences. This is relating to their diversity strategy, creating a culture of belonging, inclusion and diversity. Within this culture, StarBucks tries to support pathways to opportunity for young people in the community. People who are, for example, deaf or cannot go to school get a chance at StarBucks to get a better future. This diversity of people is the reason that leads the company to success. So when looking at the HRM cycle, everyone is treated and selected at the same way, because it doesn't matter if you are different because that is what their organizational culture makes so strong. When observing how employees work, you immediately see that all employees have a specific task that are repetitive work cycles. Everyone has their own input, from recording the order till giving the order to the customer. This standardization of rules, regulations and procedures is a strength of bureaucracy. When you look at how the company is structured, you see that it has a lot of elements of Taylorism. This is because still employees try to make the best coffees instead of machinery. Employees get trainings and follow courses to be the best barista. With this approach, you make labor process even better, instead of making a coffee machine better, which is most likely to do in this era. As well as it stimulates craftsmanship when you give your employees courses. Organizational structure of StarBucks. StarBucks has a matrix organizational structure, which is a mixture of different features from the basic types of organizational structure. The following are the main features of StarBucks coffee organizational structure: a functional structure, geographic divisions, product-based divisions and teams. The functional departmentalization refers to the grouping based on business function. For example, HR department, a finance department and a marketing department. These departments are most pronounced at the top levels of StarBucks coffee organizational structure, much as the corporate headquarters. Product departmentalization. StarBucks uses product-based divisions in its organizational structure. These divisions address product lines. For example, StarBucks has a division for coffee and related products, another division for baked goods, and another division for merchandise like mugs. This feature of the firm's organizational structure enables focus on certain product lines. In this way, Starbucks effectively develops and innovates its products with support from its organizational structure.
Geographic departmentalization. Starbucks Coffee's organizational structure also involves geographic divisions. At present, the company has 3 regional divisions for the global market: China and Asia Pacific, Americas, and Europe, Middle East, Russia and Africa. Also, in the UK market, Starbucks' organizational structure involves further geographic divisions: Western, Northwest, Southeast, and Northeast. Teams departmentalization. Teams are mostly noticeable at the lowest organizational levels, particularly at Starbucks cafes. In each, the firm has teams organized to deliver goods and services to customers. So, in higher organizational levels, there is a higher power distance than in the lower organizational levels. Observations have shown that the teams at the Starbucks cafes have a low power distance in the working environment on a local level. There is not a clear hierarchy between co-workers. The supervisor is applying situational leadership because he is not only delegating, giving orders and instructing people, but on the other hand, he is working together and doing the same tasks as the other employees. This creates a comfortable and informal atmosphere which you recognize when you enter Starbucks.
Their legal team works to uphold the highest professional standards in legal service and business ethics. They protect Starbucks and work in collaboration with business partners to influence change and advance company needs. The company is expanding rapidly compared to others. A clear collective agreement and the use of legal rules are fundamental, which will be checked by a legal team and the government. Legal proceedings have to stick to civil code, acts of parliament, case laws and EU laws. They work across many disciplines including corporate and securities, commercial, intellectual property, labor and employment, licensing and franchising. They also work in real estate, regulatory, government affairs, business ethics and compliance, equal opportunity, initiatives, operations and administration. Because of the big influence on the society and consumers' behavior, the government needs relations. The trademark is very distinctive from other companies. The logo has a siren and a mermaid with 2 tails. The trademark changed over the years, covering up her belly and boobs. This is due to the fact of some countries are very religious and aren't allowed to show inappropriate logos. The sign, graphic representation, and distinctive character gives a good indication of the company as a whole. To protect the brand from infringement, the industrial property right needs written or noted in a tangible form. The trademark of Starbucks is licensed through licensed stores, grocery, and national food service accounts to keep its distinction from other companies. Starbucks has exclusive right, included all rights of intellectual property law and freedom of generating and using ideas in future developments. Sending ideas via email or on website doesn't mean the creator of the idea has any right of compensation when an idea is used. Creations of the mind are non-material things. It is not protected until laid down in tangible form. Starbucks does not need creators' permission due to the fact that it is voluntarily. Starbucks only provides future developments or financial information for people who are interested. The actual data on the internet about suspicion of the financial statements is research from others. The leverage of the data differs. Usage of the data for business investments are own responsibilities. This is a big problem in the industry, whilst people believe the accuracy of the information on the internet. In 2008, Starbucks started working together with NS Stations, which is a railway company in the Netherlands, by opening new stores in nearly all the stations. Due to the antitrust law, the consumers are ensured a fair competition exists in an open market. Awarding a contract with the Starbucks, the price has to be taken into account due to the fact of the high quality and the high costs that also mean high prices.
Annually, Starbucks creates a responsibility report. In this report, the company describes its view of their sustainability in general. In the report, Starbucks sets a number of goals that need to be achieved within a specific period of time. Also, there is a description of the development until the current moment, and in general, this is an excellent way of setting a goal and doing a follow-up because the time frames paint a clear picture. One of the goals described in the least report of 2014 is implementing front-of-office recycling in the company-operated stores. This goal has had 8% increase during 2014 and was expected to be completed by 2015. In the goal description, it is mentioned where exactly did the increase occur, in how many stores, and also what are the challenges that a company is facing. This report makes the company very transparent. It allows all stakeholders to observe the development, which makes Starbucks a company with a strong sustainability statement. What that means is that there is no greenwashing. In the report, there are included only facts and goals, but not advertisement. In addition to that, other goals that they have are to improve water and energy saving systems, make the serving of coffee even more sustainable, and invest in farmers and their communities. At the moment, the company is on its journey to 100% ethically sourced products. Starbucks strives for using only products which are fair trade. What this means is that the company supports farmers who do not dominate the business or are less fortunate in terms of investment levels. In addition to that, Starbucks itself launched the first in the business coffee and farmer equity practices. These refer to global standards which are verified by third-party experts. This is another evidence of how involved Starbucks is to sustainability. If you refer to the Baumgartner and Ebner paper on sustainable development, then the maturity level of Starbucks would be sophisticated. This is because the company contributes on a global level and it's only driven by its own initiative. Another aspect of sustainability that Starbucks is working on is the young employees. Starbucks provides craftsmanship trainings on a local and global level. This enables the employees to have further development, creating opportunities for success. Generally, because of the deep meaning the brand has for its customers, they stay loyal. These factors, of course, contribute to the profit levels as well. And Starbucks is actively working on sustaining the feeling of warmth and welcoming. An example is each and every cup which has the name of the customer on it. Everything that we already mentioned brings us to the conclusion that Starbucks acts according to the triple bottom line and understands it. All people, planet, and profit are a general issue that is being tackled globally. From all small details to the big picture. From the colors used in the logo, which gives the impression of an eco-friendly space, through the use of seasonal products, to the global initiatives they create every year.
At the beginning of the assignment, we sat together to brainstorm which company to choose. We had many ideas and came to the conclusion to choose Starbucks. This was a successful tool, as everyone shared their opinions and ideas. Afterwards, we carried on brainstorming to find out how to tackle this project. This is a great method, as the team could throw in any crazy idea. We referred to the internet using secondary research or desktop research method. This gave us a better understanding of Starbucks as a company. This research method consists of information collected from existing data. This is found by reading articles or looking at their website. Afterwards, we wanted to collect first-hand information, so we got together as a group and implemented the participant observation method by going to Starbucks. This was to understand situations and behaviors of the customers, employees, interior and ambiance. Finally, we sat together as a team in a focus group to get a look at everyone's different perspectives. This was also useful as we concluded the project.